Okay. This chapter right here of Boruto 2 Blue Vortex is why I'm so against hype right. Because everybody for the last, I would say, 4 or 5 chapters been screaming, Momoshiki, 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 Momoshiki. Let's let Momoshiki go out and have a rampage. And with the developments that will come out of this chapter, what we learn is Omnipetence is still the biggest threat to Boruto's journey. So, without further ado, let's get to it. What's going on, everybody? This is your Anime Legacy and the Anime Lounge with Boruto 2 Blue Vortex Chapter 13 review. And as I said in the intro video, like, everybody keeps screaming, Momoshiki this, Momoshiki that, Momoshiki this, Momoshiki that. And, you know, we gotta get over this whole waiting for everybody just get put in a pack in a body bag and blood and guts splitting over the screen just to think that something has impact. Because as we see at the end of this chapter, impact does not always have to come from death. Case in point, we have a new Shinju. Now, I read this on Shonen Jump's website or app, and I recommend anybody who wants to read it, support legal anime, and read it there at Manga Plus. So, excuse me. So, the rumors going around online was that the new Shinju kind of looked like Shinki. Now, they did show another Shinju that wasn't the Bug or Matsui, and we don't know who that one is. It kind of looked like in the version I read that one had more of a ponytail, and Shinki didn't have a ponytail. Not to my knowledge of anything I've seen in the anime, because I haven't seen him in the book, but I haven't seen Shiki with a ponytail. But obviously they were getting ready to make another one, and they didn't show in the Shonen or Manga Plus video, or I should say chapter, who that Shinju or who Soul Thorn that was. So, we don't know yet. At least I don't. If you got pages for it, like, let me know in the comment section. But overall, this was basically a lore chapter. Kashin Koji's kind of interesting because it's like he saw this stuff during his fight with Ishiki. Just like in the last moments of his fight with Ishiki, he says he was willing to die and accept his fate, that he pulled Ishiki out. But then somehow he got this flash and he saw omnipotence and everything that's happening now. and that's what spurred him to run away. And I'm like, okay, that's good. And so he's just been lurking in the shadows all this time, waiting for Boruto to get into this situation so he could gain him and save him and train him up. So I'm like, okay, that's good. And some of the imagery is kind of dark. I mean, when people started going around online talking about Boruto and Sarada died, I thought it was like, okay, so Sarada tried to help Boruto in the future and she dies. But it's like, no, Sarada and Boruto died as kids. I was like, whoa, that's kind of deep. Kind of deep, kind of scary. It's like, they got put in the pack as kids. And yeah, it's a whole bunch of divine trees and all that. And that part is like, yeah, that's messed up. But getting into the crux of this conversation, after all the flashback and everything that we've been told about Orochimaru, about Boruto training with Kashin Koji and Orochimaru's hideout. I mean, I like the part where, you got the Boruto, typically acting like his father. You see that again, a little bit of that father, his father and him coming out saying, hey, I want this to just be a quarrel between brothers, and so these Shinju and everything is getting in my way. Reuniting my family is my goal, and so I'm going to deal with it. You ain't got to tell me no more. And I'm like, hey, yeah, that's just how Boruto is. That's daddy and mommy coming out of him again. That's nice to see that he has that strength at such a young age. But then we get back to the present, and Kawaki, has, the cuffs slapped on him. And this is where I talk about, where I'm going to start the conversation about impact. Because when these cuffs get slapped on him, that means Boruto's going back to the village. That means that unless she's a Shinju or outside the village, Sarada's mama, Sakura, may be seen, because Boruto kind of got to go to the hospital. I mean, Himawari has already stated her healing abilities aren't that great. So she may be able to heal somebody like Sarada, she may be able to heal someone like Sarada. Maybe. But healing Boruto after he almost got, killed, she's not on that. So again, he's got to go to the hospital, and the hospital is run by Sakura. So Boruto's got to deal with a woman who was his aunt, for all other aunt besides Hanabi, for all intents and purposes, and explain to her why, he done basically reignited her PTSD. Because remember, Sakura had to deal with her husband being a fugitive for most of Shippuden. So basically, from her teenage years to up to about where she was an adult, the man that she loved was a fugitive. Because remember, before this happened, Sasuke was on lifetime probation. Yes, he has the title of Shadow Hokage, but Shadow Hokage has no authority. That's just a title he has. So, for all intents and purposes, Sasuke was on lifetime probation. And if he comes back and Omnipetence isn't undone, or the allegations aren't removed, Boruto has set this man up and himself to be killed. Because at this point, no one's going to leave. No one's going to believe it. And this is why, again, I'm not a Momoshiki this, Momoshiki. What purpose does Momoshiki serve in this situation? Boruto has no allies. He has no one there to stop anyone from killing him. And if Boruto dies, as shown by Kashi and Koji, we are screwed. Because Kawaki gets devoured and we get divine trees everywhere. That's not the future we want. So the mission now is to deal with omnipotence. We have to get omnipotence out of the way. And then when in the process of doing that, maybe Momoshiki comes out and tries to create distrust between Boruto's flimsy alliances. Because he's got to get allies now. We got to get on the same page because the Shinju are coming again. As the chapter ended, they were making another one. So we don't know how big the Shinju army is. We got claw grounds going everywhere. So we don't know how many Thorn Souls they're going to make. So this is a real threat to not just Konoha, not just Boruto, not just, the land of fire. This is a threat to the world, and it's all hands on deck. Now, the way this could work in the end is to bring up what I have constantly said since I started this channel. The bigger conflict, which is the proliferation of ninja science and the will of fire. Because if I can just take Shibai cells and Hashirama cells and these cells and make people into superhumans, cyborgs, what do I need you for? When you over here going, what do I need that for? I mean, think about it. The reason I've constantly said that Jogan has to beat the Senreigan is because of all of this. All of this that's happening to Boruto is an accident that was manipulated by Kawaki. Ada didn't want this to happen. This was not her intent. So she is somewhat blameless in this situation. But Kawaki is evil for taking advantage of the situation and making Boruto a mass murderer, a global terrorist, instead of the hero he is. Again, next chapter or so, most likely, he's going to have to deal with an angry Sakura Haruno. That confrontation's coming. Because he got to go to the hospital. Before we get any kind of interrogation, the boys got to go to the hospital. Maybe they interrogate him in the hospital. And Sakura's just there. But that confrontation is coming. The confrontation with Ada, yes, that's coming too. That's more important. But this confrontation is coming. And it's not going to be a pretty one for Boruto. It's not going to be pretty at all. Because she may try to kill him. Who knows? I mean, she may do him like she did Shin Uchiha. She heal him up and then she punch and then she try to punch him. I mean, it ain't gonna do nothing because if she heal Boruto up and try to punch him and take the cuffs off and try to punch him, yeah, Boruto gonna put Sakura in the pack. He can put her in the pack now. But she gonna try. But overall, this is another solid chapter. Can't really wait to see what happens next. Like I said, the Sakura stuff is not a prediction. It's just common sense writing that's gonna happen at some point. Because if Sakura Haruno doesn't show up when Boruto is in the hospital, most likely, unless they don't put him in the hospital and they just put him in a cell, then most likely Sakura, and this may be a prediction, could be a prediction, she may be a Shinju. Because again, we don't know how many of these are. We just saw one Soul Thorn at the end of the manga. We don't know how many have been created beyond this. But that's all I have for this video. If you like anything you heard, please like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you in the next one.